Welcome to the new YouTube channel. If you haven't already done it, hit the subscribe button to follow us all season long for updates and content. So happy that you're here. It's going to be a great year. Welcome back to the Richard Sherman podcast. We got a great guest on, Tashaun Gipson, safety for the San Francisco 49ers, a kingpin, linchpin of this defense. How you doing, brother?
Brother, I appreciate you for having me, man. I'm blessed, man. Getting ready for this first round bye. I'm happy about it. So, that means a lot to me, man, for sure.
Yeah. Y'all played well. This defense really changed when you kind of got into the lineup. Talk about being entered into the lineup at the time you were last year and how you reacted, because I know there was a time you thought maybe this is it. And then you got on this defense and boy, they have been a lot different with you in the middle of the field. You have looked the same because you're still a ball hawk and getting to sideline to sideline, but you changed the complexion of this defense.
Man, Sherman, I appreciate it. It's just kind of one of them things where I got to that point in my career where last summer, man, I'm sitting at the house in this third week in August. And now you kind of tell yourself each day that time get pushed back. Say, if I ain't signed by training camp, right, I'm hanging it up, man. Full-time dad, full-time. All right, middle of training camp, man. By that third preseason game, it's like, man, this might be it. Get a phone call. Me and Jimmy Ward got the same agent. They tell us like, hey, man, we got bad news, good news. Bad news, Jimmy might be down. Good news, we want Gip to come in and work out for us. And, it's the first time ever having to work out for a team before. It was humbling, Sherm. Like, it was humbling. So I come to Minnesota, I go work out. And, everybody out there, all eyes on me. And it's just kind of like a cool thing, man. It just kind of made me go back to ground zero, kind of, all pride and everything aside, man. You want to play in the National Football League, you got to go out here and do it. And from there, it just was a whirlwind. I'll never forget Mr. Lynch set me down, and he was honest with me. He said, hey, right now, Jimmy, we love Jimmy. Jimmy, a great player. He just come off top 100. And he these first 4 games going to be huge for you. My goal is for you to be here. You play well enough. We'll figure out how to work you in when Jimmy get back. But you control everything from here on out. And that's just kind of one of the things I respected about Mr. Lynch. I understood who Jimmy was. It never was a situation where it's like, hey, this is what it is. It's like, hey, you stay here long enough to be on this roster, stay here long enough, you do well enough, you play. And I guess the rest is history. I just kind of put my head down, man. I was like that old dude, didn't really talk to nobody. I just went out there, man, and I tried to work, man. And Huff was a huge part of that, man. And I give that man so much credit. That's my brother for life.
No question. When you and Huff, and I said this after Jimmy went down, I said, y'all chemistry on the field was something you could see immediately. I mean, people don't talk about it unless you're a defensive player and you see how the rotations go and how the guys adjust to each other. But you and Huff had such a good rapport. I said it before Jimmy even came back. I said, they're going to put Jimmy at nickel. And that's what they're not separating them two right now. I'm sorry. I love Jimmy to death, but they're not about to sit. They're not about to sit Gip on the bench, and they're not about to sit Huff on the bench. Jim, you're going to have to come back here to play the nickel spot. They're going to put all y'all on the field, but them two ain't coming
Best 11 got to play, Sherman, man. You know how that go.
No question. And the way you were playing made it easy. Talk about, like, your mindset, because you came in as an undrafted free agent, so your mindset has always got to go get it. But you came into one of the best defenses in the National Football League and elevated it, which is crazy.
Sure. It's kind of one of those things where, I always walk around with that chip on my shoulder, man. People will call me the former undrafted player before they call me the former Pro Bowler. That's just life. That undrafted title gonna always follow me no matter where I go, man. And I wear it with a chip on my shoulder. So I think that's been a huge blessing for me in a sense of, man, it just made me just stay humble and keep my head down and work, honestly. And, when I came here, same thing. Just like, man, I just wanted to be the guy who did. This defense was so good, man, and you been here, just like I didn't want to be that guy that stuck out in a bad way. And I think that's the thing, just kept me motivated, man. And having somebody like Huff, man, that dude has so much energy, man. And it's huge not having a guy like that, man. And I know it's not just because of the relationship that we got. He's a heck of a player, man. And it's just his energy that he brings to a team. It's just something different that you just can't replace. So having him, I tell people all the time, besides Fred, Huff is a guy you want to go and ask questions about this defense, man. This dude knows. Sometimes he'll correct coaches. He'd be like, hey, is this supposed to be that? Like, he's just so studious to the game. So having him just telling me, like, you might see a mic'd up with Huff, I didn't have to do nothing, Sherman. I ain't gonna lie, my first 5 games, Huff would be like, go right, go to the post, go down, go left, go right. So, he took me back to elementary football where it's just like line up, play fast, go do your thing. Coach Miko, Coach DB, they did a good job of just slowing things down and let me get back used to this system because you played in it. Seattle version, a little different than, Salah when he came here, and Miko. I played in it with Gus
Jacksonville.
in Jacksonville. So the terminology was different. So I took a little time to get used to it. But once they let the reins go, man, it was just a match made in heaven in this defense, man. I'm so fortunate that they gave me that opportunity.
Bro, it's a match made in heaven, but it also speaks to your preparation and your mindset because you came in and, like I said, you elevate. You weren't just a cog in this defense. You weren't just a piece of this defense. You were getting pick after pick. I mean, you solidify in the middle of the field. There was no seams, no post. I know DB is still preaching it. There ain't no seams, no post, and it dang sure wasn't with you back there. And then it was the open field tackling. It was open field tackling, preventing these big plays. People don't know how difficult that is to be in the middle of the field when something busts open and somebody got to get them down. And you did such a great job last year and doing it again this year. But it's not something I hear people giving you a lot of praise for, which is kind of frustrating to me because I'd be like, man, are y'all not watching this dude? Like, this dude has been killing. You had him. I would argue between this year and last year, I mean, these are some of the best years of your career, I would say. You playing really high-level football.
I agree with you, man, and I appreciate that. It just, I was sitting talking to my brother about it, man, and you always get to that age where people say, how long you want to play? You just like, man, I just want to win this Super Bowl, man. That's why I tell people, but it's like what San Francisco, what the city, what this scheme, what the team did for just my career. And I'm forever in debt. I'm so thankful because, like, year 10 coming out of Chicago, things wasn't going the way that we wanted. Obviously, it's a lot of variables in the team game, but I didn't personally do what I needed to do. I ain't gonna lie to you. So just rejuvenating myself, man, just the love for the game that I had last year. I mean, I'm forever thankful, man. The faithful, they brought me in, man, and they welcome me, man. And the coaches, they respect what I bring to the table. And you know how it is. When you respect it and when you appreciate it, man, it goes a long way. No matter the accolades, no matter how much money you've made, anything, man, when you appreciate it, goes a long way, man. Just to be here and appreciate it, not just by the coaches, but the guys in the locker room. It just make you just want to go harder, man. I can't let my guys neck down, and that's just one of the things for me, Sherman, where it just kept me going, man. Just like, man, I can't let these guys down. And that just been my biggest thing since I stepped in here. It's just like, make sure I do my 111. Like, I can't let a guy like Fred down. Right. Fred make you run through a brick wall for him, man. Love that dude, man. Like, I can't let Huff down or Mooney down or Dre, man. These guys who put so I tell these guys all the time, man, I'm here for y'all, man. I just want y'all to help me get to that big dance, man. And I'm gonna do my OG part in this thing. But it's just been a blessing. Like I said, it's been really a blessing to be here for sure.
As a dude who was an OG in that locker room when some of these dudes was young pups, I feel you. now they chisel veterans. But I was
they vets now, Sherman. Long way since when you was here, man, for sure.
Man, it's wild, and you've had a great impact on that. But I'm about to take you all the way back, back. I'm gonna take you back to Kimball High School, and then I'm gonna take you back.
You go way back
to Laramie and playing with your brother at Wyoming.
You did just research. All right, see this.
Come on now.
You could have been had me on this podcast, man. Come on, talk to me.
Yeah, so tell me about it. You did everything at Laramie. You played quarterback. You was a returner. You was all district. You ran track. What took you to Wyoming? I mean, they gave Marcel a chance, so that was a cool op. And I'm a brother. I'm a little brother too. My brother got 3 years on me, and if somebody gave me the op to play with him, I'm taking it.
Come on, man. Like, so, so to be honest, I wasn't heavily recruited, man. I think I had Fresno State and Idaho, and those are my only offers in Wyoming. Wow. So when it came down to it, my mom's really just, she from California, so she really just didn't want me going to Fresno. Idaho, I mean, you say, what's the difference between Idaho and Wyoming? Wyoming sound like Vegas compared to Idaho to me. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, no shade to Idaho, man. But, I love my Pokes 307 now.
Right.
But, when it came down to it, man, my brother being there, he was 3 years older than me. I never got a chance to play with him. Always looked up to him, idolized him. So he actually gray shirted and then he red shirted. So he was only going into his red shirt sophomore year. So as I'm coming in, the moment that they said, hey, you have an opportunity to start at cornerback next to your brother, man, I didn't need to go on no visits. It was like, where do I sign up? You mean to tell me I get to play with the dude I've been idolizing since Little League? Was no brainer. And, you get to Laramie, man. And it was one of those weird situations where you just fall in love with a place that's so unconventional, so different than what I'm used to. Man, I'm a city boy, man, from Dallas, Texas. And going to Laramie, it just was so different. You talk about it's green. The summers are different. The winters are different. And man, having my brother there, man, it made our bond even that much more tighter. And it just was something that, man, I would never trade that, man. I would say I'd do that all over again. I take my talents to 307 any day, man, if it meant that I got to play with my brother. Because those are memories, Sherman, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'll never be able to, nobody can ever take. Just lining up next to your brother, man, saying like, man, you got my back. You on that side, I'm on this side, man. It just was, it's so cool, man. The memories that I take forever with me, man. So, it was a cool situation for me to go up there and play with my brother. We started 3 years together. Best 3 years of my life, man, honestly, truly.
No question. Bro, that's how I would imagine it being playing with your brother.
Oh, like, man, it was smooth.
Workouts together, practices together.
No doubt.
Did y'all live together?
We lived together, everything. Oh, man, it used to be, we go in games. I never forget, we played Boise, man. They had a receiver, Titus Young. Dude had wheels. My brother was like a 4-3 guy, man. First quarter, man, dude run a big post, and it's just like my brother, like, hey, I'm gonna guard him for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the big brother instinct kick in, like, and it's just like them things, man. You think about little things like that. I tell people all the time, I wasn't the best athlete in my family. I really feel like my brother he stuck it out, man. My brother, man, he probably the best football player that I've ever played with. I know people say, like, I genuinely think to this day, man, he was a better defensive back than me. And people say, how that? Nah, I mean that, man. And probably you can attest to it, man. Some of the best ones, man, just didn't have that opportunity. Made it. I was fortunate enough to have that opportunity that he didn't, man. So, without him, I wouldn't be here, man. And I shout out to my brother, man. Nothing but love, man. That's my dog, for sure.
Man, no question. I mean, I got a big brother that I tell people all the time, I wouldn't be half the player I was without him paving the way.
Without question.
It's easier to go second. It's easier to be the second person in Laramie.
No doubt.
Your brother was there. He was probably looking around like, I don't know.
He had to crawl for me to walk, Sherman, man. I tell him all the time, man, I appreciate you more than you ever know, man. Truly, man, that's some real stuff, though.
And didn't you meet your old lady out there?
Man. Like, got 3 kids, man. And, so Laramie did way more good than I probably could have ever imagined, man. Truly, that's the truth.
If I ever end up in Wyoming, I'm going to think of you. I don't know how
I know all the places now. I'm still connected, man. You just let me know when you're going through the 307, man, for sure.
No question. I'm going to let you know. Now we're going to get back to these coaches and this scheme. Tell me what you've thought of Kyle Shanahan, because I don't know if y'all crossed paths when you was in Cleveland or how that was, but how have you seen him as a head coach? Because his approach was totally different than I had with Pete Carroll. That boy, Kyle, getting them team meetings, and boy, he is a professor.
Say, man, the funny part about it is it was so new to me when I first got here, and I got here after they played their first preseason game. I mean, the Vikings preseason game, and he come in there the Monday meeting, and he's going over every single play. We must have been in there for probably about an hour, right? And I'm just sitting here, and I'm like, man, I've never been a part of that. But when you get here and you get used to it, and you realize, like, man, this man is obsessed with ball. And it's hard for you not to want to play for a guy like that, Sherman, because it's like, man, this dude just love ball. Like, man, if I can't do nothing for these next 6-7 months, these 6-7 hours a day for this man, not just for him, but like, he loved it so much, man. It's just like, man, it's 6 hours of your day. Like, he just was so different. And you could tell, like, football is always on his mind, man. These team meetings, sometimes you think they go for 10 minutes and they go for 50 minutes. And he's going, man. And just my approach, I was with Kyle in Cleveland, 2014, man, the year I went to the Pro Bowl. So me and Kyle, I was young, man. So me and Kyle, we really didn't kind of, just kind of like pleasantries, man. I speak to him when I see him in the hallways on the field. Nothing too personal. But when I got here, man, I seen a different side of him, been able to talk to him a little more in a personal light, man. And it's just like, I could tell you this, man, Kyle's probably my favorite coach I've played with. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here, but, man, just the way that he take care of the players, that open door policy, man, like, he's a straight shooter. And you gotta respect that. You've been around long enough, man. There's some guys that'll tell you one thing, and it's just like, it's always somebody else's. It's like, hey, well, it's not my decision, but this Kyle is a straight shooter. What he say, he mean. John been nothing but a straight shooter to me, man. And the older you get, the more you can respect that. I can respect that, man. Like, yeah, man, tell me what it is. And besides that, it's just like, He take care of his players, and that's why you see so many guys that got nothing but love and respect for Coach Kyle, man. Is everything perfect? No, Coach is. Everybody gonna have some complaints. You've been in the locker room before. Complaints is always heard in every locker room, man. But I tell you what, man, it's a locker room full of guys, man, that run through a brick wall for Kyle, man. He's just that type of guy, man. He command that type of respect, and man, the guys rally behind him, man. And I'm proud to be a part of this for sure.
No question. No question. That open door policy, especially for vets, is
Yeah.
totally different because you almost appear with him. You know what I mean? Kyle only 41. So the conversations aren't like you know, I used to be talking to Pete Carroll.
Right.
68 years old, 70 years old. And it's like, okay,
No
there's a
doubt.
certain regard. But when you're talking
sure.
to Kyle and he's 4-5 years older than me, it's like, hey,
Man,
Kyle.
he kind of like your peer. You're right. That's the truth. That's the truth.
And I appreciated how he always took care of the vets. He's asking you
doubt.
questions like, hey, you good? You need a day? Like,
No
how your
doubt.
legs? Like, all the time. Every coach isn't like that.
No doubt.
And then you translate it to his football knowledge and his schematic knowledge. You go into games, like, be excited to get on the sideline and watch the offense. Like, let me see if they're going to run that play.
I don't sit down, Sherman. Man, like them boys, it's so crazy what he do on that offensive side, man. It's like I never seen nothing like it. Like it's wild, man. I remember him and Jimmy G that year that they were 6-10 before they turned. But I think the year before you may have got here, like sliced and diced. Jimmy G might have had his best game, man. Our defense that year in Jacksonville was I mean, nice, man, everywhere.
You know,
Saxonville, man, Jimmy G shredded us for 3. Man, that man made that perfect passer rating on us, man. We had number Pro Bowlers back there. Cal, like, we was just all over the place, man. I said, man, this offense different right here, man. So Cal know what he doing on the offensive side.
Did you ever, during training camp or anything, get to the point, because we used to duel in training camp, and he used to be drawing up some nonsense. And he'd be like, bro, you cheating. You know who he running.
Man said he know the weaknesses, man. Kyle to run some stuff, man, that had your head spinning, and you just like, ain't no way you thought we could have defended this play. Like, no, man. Like you give him something like that, man. No, plenty times in training camp like that. That's what made it fun, man. That's what made us compete. That's what made it in the training camp practices. One thing about it, you gonna get your due out of them training camp practices, man. To the point where the games are easier, and that's one thing you don't respect while you in it. Yeah, man, you 33, this year 12, man, them training camps was hard, Sherman. But when you get to the game, you say, this is what those practices was for. This is easy now. So, you know, man, I have so much respect for Coach Shanahan, for sure.
Well, can we talk about how talented this team is? Because I know you played on good teams. You played on great teams. You were reason the teams were great in Cleveland. You played on that Saxonville team with Calais and y'all had Jalen and you, and, you know, y'all had a really good team. But let's talk about, because you look up and down the roster. You talk about you talk about Nicholas, John, Bosa, Eric, don't get enough credit. And now you got Chase Young, you got Trent on the other side, Debo, Brandon, Christian, Brock, Fred, Greenlaw. I mean, we go on and on. It has to feel good going into a game when you're watching and you're going to practice with these guys. And do you ever catch yourself like, man, this some of them boys right now?
You know, the crazy part about it is, I think I want to say Philadelphia game, and you sit back and I looked, and I think the game had kind of started getting away. And I think one of our last series, it's like these boys can't move the ball, and you just look around you, and I mean, like we missing an All-Pro safety. So we ain't even talking about a first team All-Pro safety that we missing. So to look around and see this, I can't help but just thank God, man, that I was put in this right situation, because like you see a Nick Bosa, man, selfless dog, like, man, best defensive player in the league. No matter what the stats look like, the impact that man make is different. Fred, truly a top 5 defensive player in the league, man. Like, I mean, I don't think people know exactly what Fred do. People know, but you look around, you got these, it's like the Monstars, man. Like, how can you just, I'm on Space Jam, man. I'm living a dream. You got all these dudes back here. I just got to do my job, man.
Right.
I just got to be in the right place, man. So sometimes you look at that, and not even talking about the guys on offense, man, the way Purdy is operating. You got guys like Ayuk, who we seen it during training camp, but what he's done this year, man, is different. We know what Debo do. Debo is Debo, man. Best player with the ball in his hand, and Kittle, best tight end in the National Football League. So you look at this, man, how can you not just walk in here and be like, you don't like to look ahead, but it's like, man, this is a Super Bowl caliber team just from talent alone. We ain't talking about the schematics or anything like that. We talking about talent alone. And I'd be remiss, man, if this wasn't the year. And I don't like to talk too far ahead. You know how I go.
Right.
But man, this is the most talented team I've ever been a part of. And when I say it's not close, it's remotely not close.
Yeah, I would agree. It's hard to argue that with who you got. And then you talk about yourself, who's having a great season, lowest passer rating among safeties. You talk about Charvarius Ward, who got 5 interceptions, and over the last last 8-10 games.
Give my dude Mooney his due, man. I mean, come on, Sher.
Scrapping.
What? Demo too. Don't forget about Demo, man. Demo, my favorite player, man.
Bro,
come on, man.
All they do is ask Demo, hey, play on the outside. Hey, Charvarius when he injured. Go follow the best receiver.
Play safety if you got to.
Play safety. All right, now play nickel because we need you to play nickel now. Man, talk about versatility, but 100%. Mooney is on some other stuff right now, and I don't think he's getting enough credit.
I agree with you. I told him yesterday in the team meeting, we had a real talk, and man, that's one of the things I told him, and I hope that you get everything that you deserve. The Pro Bowl just ain't enough for the way that you've been playing. Mooney deserved more than just a Pro Bowl bid, man. I think I just can't see 4 cornerbacks being on an all-pro team that's been playing better than him. When you talk about when you turn on the tape, not name by name basis, obviously, man, I got love for those guys. J Ram is my dude, man, and obviously he's the top tier. But when you look at these guys and you say, like, man, it's hard to say that Mooney don't belong up there, man. So, I'm happy he on my team for sure. All he need to do is just catch him. He catching them now.
And he catching them. And he catching them. He catching one. I said, okay, get up out of
he catching them. Couldn't be more proud of my dude, Young Moon, man, for sure.
Yeah, I would guess he gonna be on somebody's all-pro team. I think obviously it's tough to argue the names, but he's on one of the best teams in the league.
True story.
He's playing these big games. He's playing well in them. He's gonna play well in these playoffs.
No doubt.
And now that he ain't wearing 35 in Kansas City, he's getting a lot more respect.
For sure. That 35 in KC was a little
I say, Mooney, you can't expect him to love you with the 3.5 on, man.
I ain't gonna lie. The 7 makes me want. You gotta be all pro at 7. 35. I don't know if we could sneak 35 in a Pro Bowl or nothing like that.
It's tough. But the 7, we can get
7. You look something. You look like something out there for sure.
You for sure look like something. Now I want to talk about Steve Wilkes because y'all was playing good football and we, lost a few games, lost the 3 games in a row. They had that BS penalty in Cleveland. We ain't even gonna go there because I was ready to break it. I said, y'all, goddamn league. But they brought him out the booth and he was on the sideline. Has that really made the difference that people are making it out to be? Because now you see in the energy, you see him interact with players. It does seem like it's bringing a different energy to this defense.
One thing that you can appreciate is one thing I appreciate guys doing what works for them. Like, and I don't think that it was as a big a deal as it was initially made, but I will say having him on the sideline, being able to heal things off of he come to you and say, hey, what you like, what you don't like. You don't get that type of interaction when he's upstairs. Like nobody's getting on the phone. When you sit there, he tell you like, hey, what do you like? And me and multiple players, he'll tell you, come talk to him. Hey, we don't like this, coach. He feel the game and he say like, hey, you know what? We ain't gonna run this no more. And just that energy, just that timing of him being on the sideline, feeling it. Like, hey, I know that this is not working. I can feel y'all energy. Let me switch it up. Let me call something else. You don't feel that in a booth. You know what I'm saying? When you call Anaheim 15 times in a row, like, you're not feeling that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You call too much links, man. Like, you gotta
come on now.
Like, but no, man, I think that it's been a huge thing because like he listened to his players and a lot of defensive coaches, some of them do, some of them don't. He's not stuck in his ways. His adjustments, man, is top tier. And that's the biggest thing. The energy that you get. Dude, passionate. He really like a cat, like he a cool old, he like that cool unk, man. Like you can just talk to about anything. But man, he's so passionate about the game and he passionate about what he do. You can just feel that. And when you feel that with him, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, man, I'm happy that you down here with us. You down here in this fire with us and you feel it.
No question. It looked like it. It looked like it's made a difference. It looked like it's where he should have been. I'm sure there was something in his career that was like, I might be able to see it better from the booth. But I think it's been great on all fronts. And then you got DB. I love DB.
Come on,
DB,
man.
one of the best coaches, and he never get no credit. So I try to give him love at every turn I can. He work hardest anybody in the building. He's always prepped, and he's working with the safeties usually. And so tell me about your relationship with him.
Man, funny thing, man, me and DB go way back. DB was When I signed with Jacksonville about 7 years ago, signed my first deal. DB was the first time. That was his first time in the league.
Oh
And
wow.
man, when I tell you, Sherman, like man, I was a young dude, so I have this deal, man, and I'm just supposed to be this vet guy. I'm 25 years old. Me and DB, we always had a great relationship. I just wasn't the most mature guy back then. Like that comes with time, man. But one thing about DB, man, he was the same one way when I first got in the league, and he's now at this point. Without him, the success that we have on the back end, man, DB gets so much credit, man, because he's so detailed in his work. You come in there, man, whether it's having us come in there extra, he's giving us nuggets where when this stuff's showing up in a game, it's really translating. It's like, hey, man, and I don't think DB gets enough credit. He another guy he's a Coach Cal Shanahan type of guy. He love, sleep, eat, drink, think football. You can't have a normal conversation with DB without him bringing up some football stuff, man. Like, that's just a testament to how much he loved his craft, and he loved being here. He loved coaching the guys, man, and the guys riding around him. Now he got the room. I know he was the assistant when you was here. Now he got the room, man, and it's just like his vibe is a little different, man, and you respect the way he move. And man, I got so much love for DB, man. We connected for life for sure, man.
No question. Yeah, I feel the same way. We still text to this day.
All day, man. Good dude.
He deserves a DC job, and I'm sure he's gonna start to get some calls. Now that more guys are starting to get. It's slow to get all OC job. I mean, head coach job.
Absolutely, he deserved whatever gonna come DB way. No doubt about it.
No question. Well, I know it's time for you to get some rest. I've been enjoying this conversation.
Man, we don't talk to you all day, man. I can talk to you all day.
You played with Sip too, huh?
Man, Sip, my guy. Yeah, I played with Sip, man. Yeah,
Sip, Sip came through for a sec.
I got many funny stories about Sip, man. Got love for Sip, though. Me and Sip go way back. That's my dude for sure, though.
Boy, Sip a ball hawk, but Sip be trying to sting people. Boy, every chance
man, Sip will give you 140 tackles, man. You put him in that box. Hokey rules, man. He down there, he gonna get active for sure.
Good old Hokey rules. Look, Cam would be proud. Cam would be proud. They put him in for him. Boy, them Hokey rules. They took him to Jacksonville.
Man. Good old Hokey rules, man. Sip love it, man. Sip got paid, man. Sip got paid them Hokey rules, man. No doubt about it. Sherman, I appreciate you, dog. I appreciate you finally having me, man. No doubt about it, man.
Hey, y'all get to, knock on this wood. Y'all get to February in Vegas. We're gonna have this conversation.
Run it back. I got you. Hey, Sherman, I appreciate you, G.
Appreciate you.